welcome back to the 212 and the 305 podcast. I am very happy to be here today with my friend Danielle Collica. And Danielle, first I just want to thank you not only, of course, for being a guest, but also for getting me back into it because, as you know, I took a break for tax season. I needed to focus on my day job.
Right.
And you followed up with me, and I'm really happy you did that, so thank you. Let's just get right into it. Let's start with, of course, the theme, New Yorkers in Florida. So tell us what brought you down here, and a little about like where you're from, how you grew up, and then what brought you down to South Florida.
I'm originally from New York. I was born and raised on Staten Island, and then eventually moved to the city. And I lived there for work, and then...
Where in Manhattan did you live?
Upper East Side.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 2022 hit, and that's 2 years.
Into COVID.
Into COVID.
Right.
I was still waiting online to go grocery shopping. The gyms weren't open. All restaurants and bars were 50%, and you had to have your vaccination card.
Yeah,
and
I like forgot about all this, but I was there too. Yep.
And I was single, and one of my friends from New York moved to Florida, to Fort Lauderdale, and I went to go visit her, and it was a whole different world. And I spoke to like my family, and I made the move. Within 6 months, I was down here.
Nice.
Yeah.
Your family's still back in Staten Island, is it? Or?
They're all over New York.
Nice.
Yeah. My mom's a snowbird.
So yeah, same with my parents.
Yeah.
So I obviously no regrets. You're super happy. I know you've got married and
Yes.
Yeah,
I mean, I met my husband. So
right. So that's.
It was it was meant to be that I moved here because I met him a month later after my move.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. But we go back to New York a lot. I have to go back there.
Right. Tell us about. I know you have I don't know what you call it. Your business.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
So I have an investment property. I use the Airbnb platform.
Okay.
That's out on the North Fork of Long Island, which is out by the Hamptons.
Right. Yeah, I grew up in Great Neck.
So I've owned it for 10 years now. This is my 10th year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I still use it. But when I say that I have to go back to New York, I mean like because I want to.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And then, so we'll either go back to New York City or I'll visit wherever my family is, or typically we'll go out to the North Fork for the summer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And you also do, how do you decide between the North Fork and then I guess you do like Montauk a lot, right? Or
yeah, well, Montauk's just tons of
fun. Because I'm not, like, look, I've been to the Hamptons, obviously, but it's been a while. I haven't been there recently, so I guess what's the difference? Like, I guess you can give a lot of advice. Like, why would someone go to the North Fork as opposed to Montauk, as opposed to the Hamptons or whatever?
So the North Fork is surrounded by water, and it has like over 50 vineyards. They have breweries now. Okay. There's a lot of farm stands. It's family friendly. A lot of boating activity, and then Montauk now is like where you party.
Okay.
I have the best time in Montauk. Out of the whole year, that's where the best partying happens for me.
Okay.
Like, because people are there's live music in general, people are dancing, and everyone in Manhattan that's like uptight or cliquey and don't socialize, when you go out there, everyone's friendly.
Huh? Okay.
Yeah, so it's a vibe.
Okay, cool. What are your favorite places out there?
God, we go everywhere. Sorry. We go to the Surf Lodge, but
that's like the most well-known place.
Yeah,
right? Yeah,
but it gets more and more expensive every year, like crazy.
Just to stay there, also to go out.
Just to get a ticket to get in.
Oh, right.
Because they have high
big
performers.
Big performance.
Big
right,
performers.
Right, okay.
I like Westlake. It's a restaurant, but they always have live music down by the docks. Anywhere down by the docks.
Okay.
Is good. Gurney's Fire Pit usually.
Yeah, my brother goes there.
Yeah,
right?
and
okay.
Montauk Project last summer was amazing. We had a lot of fun, and I know that they'll be opening up again this summer.
So a lot of choices out there for music.
There's
okay. So I may have to check that out then.
Yeah,
I like that stuff at this age and stage of my life.
It is so much fun.
Not really looking to go to the clubs anymore right now. So.
Well, it's like day night.
Right. Okay.
And there's this club restaurant that opened up in West Palm called Mary Lou's, and they're doing a pop-up in Montauk this year.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bagatelle will also be there.
Bagatelle's in Montauk now?
Yeah, by the Gosmans.
Okay.
Yeah.
So North Fork is more like give us a place up there.
It's for the families.
That's more like vineyards and not really restaurants and clubs.
No. Greenport has like Claudio's. Also, Common Ground in New York City, that club?
Yes, I think I do.
They just opened up common country in Greenport, which is where my house is, which is
Okay.
pretty
Oh,
cool.
cool. Okay.
So all that the city stuff is going there.
Right.
There's Dorier's, which is in Montauk. They opened up a North Fork location.
Not Dorian's on the Upper East Side? No.
No, Dorier's is that where you get that lobster salad in Montauk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's a couple of things. It's more for the families, and there's a lot of generational families out there, and people just saw what they could get for their money, like the value on the North Fork
especially compared to the Hamptons. Right.
So, and we have land out there, so people are buying the land. They're developing houses that look like the Hamptons. The locals are not happy that it's turning that way, but it eventually will.
Okay.
Yeah.
So good segue, because my next question was, how do you? I know you're into real estate.
Yeah.
I guess is that your full-time thing now? I know you were in the medical field, right?
Yeah.
And,
So I now work for Compass.
Okay.
Yep. But I've been a registered nurse.
Nice.
Had my license for 13
Thank
years.
you for that. Always respect the profession.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So I know you're fairly new to real estate, but in terms of like how do you compare the real estate market from Fort Lauderdale, South Florida, to first New York and then even Miami?
Yeah. Well, New York's different. I guess it depends where in New York you're talking about. Like New York City.
Right.
Is just fast. I mean, they have a lot of co-ops that they're doing. You know, Long Island is different. Staten Island, like they're all residential, and the home prices.
'Cause you haven't really done real estate in New York, right?
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
But my mom owns property in downtown Brooklyn.
Oh, cool.
And
Okay.
They
All
do
right.
like apartments.
Similar to what you do in the North Fork, she has like in Brooklyn, in terms of like renting it out.
I just have a single family home
Right,
in
okay,
Greenport.
okay.
Yeah, but she has a
Multifamily.
property manager.
Oh,
doing
got
her.
it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's different. I think New York's tough. Like the market is tough there.
Right.
And a lot of people are struggling.
Still, the rents are still at whatever it is.
Rents are higher than they were before COVID.
All-time highs. It's
Yeah.
crazy, yeah.
Same thing with homes.
Right.
And people, I mean, you go to Manhattan for work.
Right.
Whatever it is, if you work for restaurants, if you work for the ATM, the MTA, if you're a bus driver, if you work in finance, like everyone has to go into Manhattan for work. So even the homes in Jersey, Long Island, it's tough. It's tough for the young generation.
Yeah, my brother is in Roslyn, close to Greenwich, where he grew up, and so I know about the values there. And then, of course, a lot of friends and family in Manhattan and Brooklyn, clients.
Yeah.
And it's just people still want to be there because just seeing what people are paying, even compared to Fort Lauderdale and Miami, we know it's not cheap down here.
Right.
But when people are paying $5,000-$6,000 for a little studio or one bed, it's like, what is bringing them here?
Right.
But I mean, I get it. If you're young in your 20s, you can afford it. Your parents helping you out, and you can be there. You make it happen. You know?
Yeah.
So, but I think like you and I and your husband Anthony have seen all of us in our old building and all that. When you see really what you get down here for your money, whether it's Miami, Fort Lauderdale, or Boca Del Rey, it's like very hard to pass up.
Yeah,
right?
I think that was a big selling point for me moving down here, is looking at what I could get for my money, like how much my apartment in Manhattan was versus here. I mean, all these buildings have like saunas, gyms. I mean, the pool. That doesn't really exist in New York.
Yeah.
And
if it exists, it's way unaffordable, but it's hardly even an option.
Yep.
Right.
That you have to pay $1,000 a month just for parking. Like,
right. Yep. I say that all the time.
All these convenient things that we have. And it's, I like Florida. I mean, I could still walk everywhere like Manhattan, but you still have your car available.
Right. That exactly. Yeah. Just having the car is an option. I get it. Yeah.
So,
I lived in Las Olas, where I met you guys. Now I live in Midtown Miami. The similarity between those two is that's both very walkable areas. So I like it how I don't have to jump my car. I don't have to jump my car to do most things,
Right.
So
or
it's
you
an
could
option.
have a golf cart.
Yeah, right.
Like
well, you guys have that. Right? Yeah, nice thing to have. Yeah. So yeah, it was funny. Like last week, my assistant was like, she was all like a little depressed. It was raining for like 3-4 days in a row, and I'm like, I'm not depressed. I mean,
They were depressed here or
my
New York?
assistant from we all work from home, but she lives like in Kendall, and I'm in Midtown. And she's like, the rain was like getting to her, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm still happy that I'm not on the 4th floor looking at the inside of a dark courtyard. I'm like, I'm still looking at South Beach from my window, and the bay, and like that. Just even if it's raining, it makes me happy.
It rained for 2 months straight in New York.
Yeah,
like April and May.
Right. I guess I don't follow as much
They lost the whole
there.
month.
Right.
I was there in April and I was freezing.
Yeah, that's the thing. Even about the summers, like I think a lot of New Yorkers are like scared of the summers in Florida. I'm like, I mean, you guys spend more of your time, but I've been here the last 3 summers, and like, you get used to it, and it's really not that bad, especially when you have the pool or a beach and air conditioning as an option.
Right. You're not like in the middle.
It's not that bad.
Of,
I mean, at least I don't think it is.
right.
So.
You're not inland.
Right. You're not in like the desert. You're not in
breeze.
Dubai, you know,
Yes.
like where I was. Yeah. So I don't know how much have you done in terms of like Florida real estate. I know you mainly focus on Fort Lauderdale. Have you done anything? Like, just tell us generally about the market down here. And I don't know if we can compare Miami or not, but like.
No, only because I never worked in Miami. I'm Fort Lauderdale, Coral Ridge, Pompano, area, even Boca.
Right.
But then you start like dealing with Miami and West Palm, and those are a little bit of different city. And kind of state.
Oh, West Palm is also pretty different?
Yeah, I would say so. You know, you have to know your area if you're going to sell it. But so Miami's so cool. This is so cool down here. And it is closer to New York, even though it's not.
Closer to like the New York vibe.
Right. I wouldn't really consider Fort Lauderdale quite a city. I think it's getting there. And they're doing a lot of building. All the luxury, like high end. St. Regis is coming in. There's LBU.
Right.
So
Yeah,
we're getting that, but we don't have, I think, like the companies to get young people to move and stay here. You have some of them in Miami, but not much like here in Fort Lauderdale.
Right, okay.
I was thinking about it the other day, and we were talking about headquarters. Someone asked me, what is your headquarter here? And come to think of everyone that lives in the building that they used to live in, most people are entrepreneurs are working from home. And it's kind of the same thing from Miami. I don't know anyone that drives into an office that works 9 to 5.
Right. Yeah. You're right. It's very rare these days.
You know, and the people that moved here during COVID and stayed are the ones that have that remote job or their own business. You know, there's a lot of people who did have to go back to New York for work.
Yeah, they just for whatever reason they couldn't stay here.
Yeah. So, I mean, it just Miami's ultra luxury. I think that's the main difference between Fort Lauderdale and Miami. You get that a lot of international money, people buying their second, third home.
A lot of the South Americans, Latin population, right?
It's a different beast.
Yeah, you have to. It's sometimes hard not to speak Spanish.
Right. It's required, I think.
Yeah. That's on my top of my list of things.
Did you learn any Spanish?
A little bit. I'm picking it up here and there.
Un poquito?
Yeah, right. You know more than I do. Yeah, there you go. So I know you guys are heading to Sparrow tonight, which is one of my favorite places, this Italian place in Wynwood that I was comparing to the Derby back in the Derby was it was the Derby before it was Up and Down. So it was still owned by Richie Akiva, Scott Sarciano, those guys. But the Derby was a place where like you'd have a very loud live band. I would say I was married at the time. I was telling my wife, let's go with people who we don't really want to talk to here,
right?
Because like it's that loud. You can go have a nice meal and like you don't have to like make bullshit chit chat with people you don't want to. Like that's how we. Anyway, that was a cool place. That's kind of like the vibe Sparrow gives me, which I think you're gonna love it. So that's one of my favorite spots. But what are your couple favorite spots in Miami and Fort Lauderdale?
Well, have you been to Anthony's Runway?
I have.
Okay.
Yeah,
is it the same type of vibe, Sparrow?
You know, now that I think about it, it's not. Yeah,
because Anthony's Runway is loud. Like
yeah, that's true.
You have to choose who you want to sit next to because you can't hear the person across.
You're right. I was thinking I knew I was gonna ask you the question tonight, and I know you're both Italian, right?
Yeah.
So
mainly.
like. Yeah, you probably were a little more picky on your Italian food than I am, although I am pretty picky growing up in New York. But anyway, yes, similar, I guess kind of a similar vibe. I don't know, the food, and maybe, I don't know where I'd say the food. If I had to say right now, if I had to pick the food, probably maybe a little bit better at Anthony's Runway, but it's still a pretty decent meal, you know?
That's what I like about Miami is that most restaurants have an entertainment aspect.
Yes, that's true.
And getting older, like I really don't want to go out after dinner as much anymore. Like there's no clubbing anymore for me. So like I want that music while I'm eating dinner. Yep. It's like a 2-for-1.
Words right on. I totally hear you. Yep.
So all the great restaurants are here. So we do travel from Fort Lauderdale to Miami.
What are your favorites? The things that come to mind right away?
Here in Miami?
Give me like 1 or 2 Miami, 1 or 2 Fort Lauderdale.
Queen is fun.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
You had dinner. I've only been there to hang out. I haven't eaten there. The food was pretty decent.
Yeah. But I mean, they're performing. These girls are like hanging from the ceiling.
Right. That was good.
Food. I mean, there's so many great spots for food. When I'm here, I'll go for something like some place that has music.
Okay.
Castaneos is pretty cool. They have like that day party that I like.
The whole river there, right? You got Kiki on the river, Castaneos,
You could pull up with your boat.
Yeah, that's
They
a cool
opened up
vibe,
the Palm Tree Club.
Yeah, Kygo is involved in
Yeah.
it, the DJ, right?
Yeah.
That's up north, right?
Yeah.
Have you been?
No.
Okay,
I'm dying to go. You can take your boat there. It's like that's my type of day.
Okay.
In Fort Lauderdale or closer to it, we have Anthony's Runaway that I like. Couple local, like Heritage. Have you ever been to Heritage?
No, I've heard about it.
It's a good Italian spot. Anthony, my husband, loves Cafe Europa.
Yeah, I think I've been there
Have
with
you
him
been?
probably. Yeah, that's a cool spot. Yeah, it's classic, consistent meal. Yeah.
Pier 66 just opened, reopened.
Okay.
Have you?
No, I haven't heard of that.
But
one.
you know the iconic like hotel, right?
Pier 66?
By like 17th Street.
No.
They just reopened
Iconic
it.
Fort Lauderdale hotel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's by 17th Street.
Okay.
And they have two really cool restaurants in there, Soto Grande and Colosso. And
Is
then
that on towards the beach? No.
no,
kinda inland,
it's
okay.
kind of on the intercoastal.
Yes. Okay.
And then they have a rooftop bar,
Oh wow.
which they've always had, and it spins the top.
Oh okay.
Yeah, and it's very cool. So
Yeah, there's no lack of places up there at all.
no,
No.
and then all
You feel you have to come down to Miami sometimes? I mean, not very.
if I want to like dance,
Okay. Yeah, I guess you're fine if you want to dance.
if I want to dance,
Okay. What about New York? New York City now. We talked about Long Island, Hampton, but New York City, Manhattan, Brooklyn, any spots?
I like the Monkey Bar.
Oh yeah, good one. Okay.
That's a good one. I keep trying to get into the Polo Bar because they're like right across the street. But
Yes,
you
and the
just
same
can't-
owner as the Monkey Bar is Fort Charles Prime Rib. Yeah.
which is very cool.
Yeah. So
I'll
you've
go
been to both
there.
of those? Okay.
Yeah, I try and go like when the restaurant first opens
Oh, you do. You want to? Okay.
because before there's a line because you can't get any reservations in New
Before
York.
the word really gets out.
Or no, just like if the restaurant opens at 4, I'll go at
Oh,
like
you mean?
3:45.
You meant like okay? I thought you meant like when it first
Yeah.
opens. Like you meant time
I
of
mean,
day.
you have to
Got
pay
it.
for
Oh yeah, if you'll go
reservations
for a
now.
4 or
It's
5 o'clock dinner,
crazy.
it's probably not that hard.
Yeah, no, I mean, no one's really there.
Right.
But we try a lot of different spots. Like every time I go, it's a whole day of eating.
Okay.
We'll do like 2 lunch spots, a dinner spot.
Okay.
I like the Flatiron Room. Like
Wait, is that like kind of dark
like a
lounge
jazz-
in the 20s?
Yeah.
That's been there forever.
It's
I
the
remember
best.
going there. Oh yeah, I've been
Yeah.
there like 20 years
That's
ago.
like one of my favorite
I'm
spots.
happy to hear it's still around.
It
Okay,
is.
cool.
It does very well.
Yeah.
So when I'm in New York, I'll do dinner and like a jazz bar.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because they don't really have much entertainment.
Right. I get it. It's a little different than down here.
Oh, we went to.
Have you been to Corner Store yet?
No, I can't get it.
I know. I even know someone there, and she was like 5:30. I'm like, all right. If you want a 5:30, I can get it for you.
I'll do a 5:30. I'll definitely do a 5:30. Cucina Alba.
Yeah.
Have you been there?
No, I haven't made it there yet. I actually know some of the owners from Boston, and they're I have to just make it there. But
You do.
Yeah.
It was one of the best meals I've had
was
in
it
the
really?
city.
Okay, now that you said that, I'm gonna go there.
It was unbelievable. We kept ordering from the menu because we're like, every dish that came out was so good. We're like, we have to try it all.
I may even go there next week.
It
now
was
because-
amazing.
okay.
I highly recommend it. Like, it's, you're paying all this money and you're making the time for these reservations. Like, Cucina Alba, they executed.
Okay, that's good to hear.
Yeah, try it. And then there is that rooftop bar, Nubelu's, Nubeluz.
No, I haven't heard. I've heard of Nebula, but that's a
That's-
nightclub and not rooftop.
No, that's in Nomad, and that's a stunning cocktail bar.
Okay.
Definitely
Yeah, so you know
recommend
your New
it.
York stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do my research.
So you spent time really in the city and out east. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Have you been to ABC Cucina?
No.
It's Mexican if you're in, but it's
Okay.
like very high end Mexican. It's delicious. It's actually John George,
Okay.
but
Where is that?
It's on like 18th or 19th.
Okay.
Flatiron Grams. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good, very good spot. So tell us a little bit more about the market in Fort Lauderdale and what's going on like right now that we're well out of COVID and things are obviously changing with the economy,
Right.
the new administration, all these different politics and
Right.
markets and crypto and all this stuff. How is that affecting real estate?
Well, the home prices went up over since 2020, and the houses has stayed very high, and I would say since maybe the election, everyone has been a bit scared, and people waiting for those interest rates to drop, and they're not really dropping.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
But a lot of the homes are sitting on the market, like not like 1, 2, 3, 6 months.
Okay.
That's not.
They're not moving as fast as they used to.
Not at all.
Okay.
So I tell everyone that's looking for homes, this is your chance. This is when you make an offer.
Right.
If a home is sitting on the market more than a month, like, you have the ability to negotiate.
You can offer whatever you want
Yeah.
to get the ball rolling,
Yeah.
get the conversation started, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And so we are in a buyer's market.
Okay. Full buyer's market now.
I would say so.
Okay. In South Florida, at least.
Yeah.
For sure. Okay.
Especially my area.
Okay.
With that issue with the Surfside
Right,
condominium
right.
and the HOA fees and the assessments, everything's so high now, the condos are sitting on the market.
So condos are even more of a buyer's
Condos.
market than houses
Yeah.
are. Okay.
So the condo prices are dropping more
Okay.
than like a single family home, because they're trying to make the HOA fees could be anywhere from like $8,000 to $1,500 a month.
800 to 1500 a month. Yeah.
to $1,500.
Yeah. See, my problem with HOA fees is that my brain is all Manhattan, New York, right? So when I compare it to that, it's like, oh, but I get it. When you compare it to like normal America, Florida, whatever, it is a lot of money, of course.
It is for some people,
Yes.
And then you have like the Hamptons in North Fork, where there's no inventory. So people are spending, if there's,
There's still no inventory out there? It hasn't gone, no?
not. People still want to buy out there.
Okay.
They're building, but they could sell that house for whatever they want. People will buy
So
it.
it's still
There's a lot
fairly
of cash
strong
deals
out.
there too.
So it's not a buyer's market in Eastern Long Island, is what you're saying.
I wouldn't say no.
It's still, okay.
No, but I do think that there needs to be a market reset. I think the home values have gone up and stayed up for so long, and now the interest rates are high.
Right.
Like, it's difficult for anyone. So I think this will be an interesting next couple of months, and I think that it will help the economy. I think people will be able to start buying again soon.
Nice. Okay.
So
cool.
I want to read you this quote.
Yes, please.
Okay, so this is Chris Smith. He wrote, "Your home is worth what a buyer will pay today. What your neighbor got last year, what Zillow says, or what you need to make your next move. The market sets the price, not your feelings about your kitchen renovation." So the market's going to set its price.
Wait, that last part again. Say it's, yeah, because I get that. Say that again, the last part of it. Well, the market sets the price.
The market sets the price, not the feelings about your kitchen renovation.
Yeah, because I just renovated my condo that you guys have been over to, and one thing I tried to keep in mind is that you need to do, you want to make, it's my home and I want to make it what I want, but
Right.
I also have to think as someone who, it's not going to be my last home. I'm going to
Right.
sell it at some point.
Yeah.
I got to be smart about what I'm putting in. Am I going to get it back? Like
Right.
in the building that I'm in, as opposed to, let's say, the building my parents in South of Fifth. Like my parents in South of Fifth, maybe a Sub-Zero maybe you'll get the money back on a Sub-Zero. In a building like mine in Midtown, no shot.
Right.
So that's why I related to that comment and
Yeah.
that quote. Yeah.
Well, also say, let's give an example. Say someone bought a house in Fort Lauderdale in 2021, right, for $500,000, and all the home values went up to $1 million. They're still trying to sell that house for $1 million, but it's not worth $1 million.
Okay.
So they need to not list it so high.
Right.
And that's what happens. You list it high, and then it sits on the market for too long, and they have to bring it down because people are realizing people don't have to move anymore.
Right.
We're not getting that rush. So it will be, I think it will start to pick up.
So great. Thanks for coming on.
Thank
Before
you.
I just tell us about your team, how we get in touch with you, because you told us what areas you specialize in, but
Yep.
of course, always want to promote our businesses on
Right.
here.
So I work for Compass. I work with a group called the Cruise Group. That's
Okay.
CREWSS, Cruise Group.
Okay.
We do everything. There's a lot of new development going on. Any condos, single family homes, basically from Fort Lauderdale, basically to West Palm.
Okay.
And on Instagram, I believe I'm Danielle_Collica.
Okay.
And I do have a TikTok. It's a little bit behind the
I do too.
scenes.
It's okay.
I actually love
mine
it.
is as well. Yeah.
And that's Danielle Collica Realtor.
Okay. Do you want to
Yeah.
give email, website, phone number at all?
My
or?
web-
We can also put it in the comments.
Yeah,
whatever
we'll put
you
it in.
want. Okay.
But my email for work is danielle.collica@compass.com.
Great.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's awesome. So maybe I'll see you. Will you come to New York this summer?
Yeah. I'm always there a little bit here and there. Yeah, so we'll definitely get together.
Gotta
in
go
New
to
York.
Montauk.
Now I want to come out east. Yeah,
Must.
It takes a lot to get out there, but I think I will after hearing all this live music stuff. That's kind of my vibe.
Well, you
these
could
days.
fly. Like Fort Lauderdale has direct flights to MacArthur Airport.
Okay. Yeah.
It's like flying
that makes
private.
it easier. Yeah. That's true because you just get in and out and there's no bullshit from the airport.
Our friend was just on a flight from MacArthur to Fort Lauderdale, and Bethany Frankel was on their flight.
Oh wow, yeah, because I see her. She's like down here a lot now. Yeah.
She moved here.
Posting
She's
from-
my idol. I just want to get
really?
that on camera.
Okay, cool. All right, great.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on. And
Awesome.
But one last question: Compass, are you able to like refer to New York? But how does that? Are you connected to the Compass New York at all?
Absolutely.
Or are they all independent?
Yeah, Compass is national. I just went up to New York in April. I went to the North Fork office, the West Hampton office.
Great.
Just to like make connections out there. Because
Right.
I'm meeting people anyway, and I don't have a New York license. But I could refer people, or they could refer people to me. But you could do that outside of Compass as well.
Right. Okay.
But, you know, it's a #1 sales volume.
Yeah, I'm sure great for them to be with.
It's an amazing company. So shout out to them.
Cool. Thank
Yep.
you. Thanks so much.
Awesome.
Thank you.